everybody. All right, King. There's still hope. My boy played small ball center. He might still be alive. There you go. There you go, Wally. There you go. There you go. Well, I don't know how it's going to turn out, people, but it looks like, at least for the first time, there's a game plan. Good day. What's up, DV, Chico, Frank, everybody? Y'all jump up here on the stage, man. I ain't gonna just talk up here to hear myself talking. I don't like myself that much. What's up, Queen? I got you, BJ. Yeah, unfortunately, that's probably where most folks are at today. Afternoon, Nancy. All right, well, he got a little bit of payback. He needed that. Yeah, but like I tell you, the one positive is everybody's playing in the right position today. Um, Even Melvin, they got Omax playing a power forward. They got Wiley playing a center, checking him out as for a small ball center. This is more like how people are going to play if they make the big team. This is where they'll be. When we play to get team ball, we're doing good. Well, everybody got to show up, Chico. This is the last game. If you don't show it today, you don't get a choice. You don't get a chance. Yeah, I think you being nice. That didn't look too good to me. Not bad, Pudge. Damn, that is nice. Anybody know how tall he is? Yeah, but Frank, what I'm getting at is if you go draft and stash somebody, I mean, get a 20-year old or an 18-year old, not a 22-year old. You know, catch you a 6'5" defensive guy. They can pass and stick him in a G League and let him learn how to shoot. Then you can do that for a year or two. Yeah, that's too short. Nah, no, thank you. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me, but I've only seen one short guard that I would even be interested in. Pippen Jr. I ain't seen no other short guard. Been nice if it had said somebody make a three. Yeah, y'all, he's way far ahead of Omax. Uh yeah, he did. Frank and Clark made one. That's it. That young man there, he can play. I'm gonna go back with the old saying, and he don't want to go back home. He likes Texas. Am I wrong? But is Fudge the only one of our year two players that's showing any improvement? I mean, he still can't shoot, but at least now he can finish around the basket. I mean, he's made improvement. I mean, it's better than anybody else. Well, Brandon ain't got to play. Oh, okay, BJ. I'm sorry. I thought he was. He's definitely better than what he was when I seen him play at college. And I mean, y'all, I'm just looking for anything positive. We 0-3. uh, Not much room. Damn. Come on, Fudge. What up, Max? Pass it. Yeah. Come on, Fudge. Man, I was just bragging on you. That's what I get. Yeah, what's up, Miller? You go. There you go. Good pass. Frank, I wouldn't hate it. He can play stretch four and small ball five. I would not hate it. He would not be my first choice, but I wouldn't hate it. I don't know if we could get him though, Frank. If San Antonio ain't trying to tank again, we ain't got nothing to offer them. No, it ain't lateral, Wupo. It's better than what we got. I mean, hell, I'm looking at Wiley because he's better than what we got. And he ain't there yet either. He's my guy. Nice. By far, Frank. Well, not when Maxie was younger. I can't do that. Maxie had talent. Maxie's just broken. Well, but it boils down to the same old conversation, everybody. Yeah, there's talent out here on our summer league that if you had a year or two to let them develop, they're probably going to be decent to good players. I don't think there's one out there that's going to help on a championship run. Not even my guy I'm hyping up. Maybe Melvin might be the only one that would actually be productive. Maybe. Right? Yeah. I mean, we're excavating where we're looking at trying to figure out bench players, y'all. There ain't a starter out here. Yeah, no, I'm the same way, Frank. I don't dislike the guy, and everybody thinks I hate him. And I mean, Gorman has probably played the best as a guard, but they're not going to cut AJ Lawson that's 6'5" for a 6'2" Gorman. I don't see it. Yeah, it's kind of me like he had his moment. And Collins can shoot the three adequate. I mean, he ain't a sniper by no means, but at least he will shoot it. Yeah, no, I think the Winter Soldier served his last tour for us. I would be more likely to give up a first to get rid of a bad bench player than to bring another one on. And I don't want to do that. There, King, there's there's trades where I would give up a first if I got the right player back. If I got at least 2 seconds back, maybe three, and the right player, I would give up the first. But it would have to be the right everything to do it. Well, everybody, you be looking at the teams that are in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Anybody that's tanking for flag, they got players that can be got. Yeah, I ain't watched a whole lot on him, but from everything I've seen, he's gonna be another one of them 7 footers that literally can do everything. Be a 7 footer playing small forward. Now, baby, the last report I heard was 6'9.5", and then he's 18. He's not through growing. So if he's at 6'9" at 18, when he's a grown man, he'll be 7 foot tall. Not much more than that, Whoopo. Or not, actually, a little less than that. What the hell was that? Yeah, I mean, whew. Well, yeah, I think King's right there, Frank. I don't think he can. I didn't notice it till King brought it to our attention the other night. But which would make sense, y'all, if they're playing him power forward, especially if Lively can shoot the three. But Omax is gonna have to gain some weight to play power forward. He can't, King. He just got caught right there. Yeah, damn. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Gortman saved Omax that time. Well, I wish him luck, and I hope he makes it on some other team. But y'all, he ain't making our team. To add a guard, we got to cut a guard. Who you gonna cut to give him a spot? I ain't saying you're wrong. I'm just saying to add a guard, we're gonna have to cut a guard. Now, y'all know me. I'm all about winning now. So I'm still holding out, Whoopo, because they got my guy playing small. They got him playing center today. I'm thinking that maybe Melvin and Whaley, they know what they got in already. That's why they ain't featured them, because they've kept them on the team and kept them active. They just ain't featured them like they have Omax and some of the guards. So I'm thinking they might already be on the team, and it's the other ones. I'm thinking Fudge right now.
Y'all can hear me. I think you can now. Y'all can join this stage with Richard, man. Richard, I appreciate you holding it down. I'm out
Hey,
here
bro,
driving and all that.
you
But
do what you got to do, man. Ain't never gonna knock a man for taking care of family or his job.
yeah, I'm out here driving and all right now. But everybody else, y'all definitely can get on stage and help Richard out and all to show y'all today. I see we
I,
winning. Hopefully we can pull out a W. Neither myself or Rel watching the game, so luckily it's members only tonight, so everybody can jump on stage and let us know what happened. But the stage is all yours. Appreciate you, Richard. I'm going back in the mute mode again.
yeah, man. Take care of what you doing. Yeah, I don't bite, y'all. Well, the problem, Queen, I think most sounded like most of the people that normally get up here on the stage and stuff are still at work. Hazards of a daytime game. Chico, my rebuttal to that would be was last year Williams was Gort. Uh, I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference between either one of them, but you can't keep both of them. That's all. That's my only input on it.
What's the numbers, Richard? How's everybody looking? How everybody looking in the game? I haven't really seen it at all.
Yeah, man, I ain't nothing, in my opinion, changed in this game, even though we're playing better. We are playing better. People are making shots, but nothing. My opinion ain't changed for what it was 2 days ago.
How's Omax looking individually?
Dude, he still can't make a three. His half of his points are from the free throw line. Uh, he's doing a little better playing point forward. But yeah, he's still got work, man. He's still got a long ways
He,
to go.
he's still not ready to be the backup power forward.
No, no.
Okay.
And I don't think Melvin is big enough to be a backup power forward. He'll be fine as a small forward, but we're loaded up at small forward. I don't know where he's gonna get in. My one bright spot is my boy Whaley. They let him start at center today, so maybe they're looking at him at backup power forward, small ball center. That's my only really bright. Only thing I'm noticing different. Gortman's still shooting. Everybody else kind of looks like they belong somewhere else.
So Gortman carried it over. Gortman still looks good.
Yeah, he's having a series like Williams had last year, King. And like I was telling Chico earlier, the problem is we can't keep both of them. I mean, there ain't enough difference between either one of them. I'm not gonna cry over or make a fight over either one of them. Keep coming or going, but you can't keep both of them.
Yeah, you can't keep both of them. But my thing with Gortman, he's 6'2". I heard with a 6'9" wingspan.
What he's tenacious
Yep.
on the defense.
On
I
the
will give
defensive
him
side,
that. I
Richard,
I never saw Williams do that.
that's what I'm saying. If he's 6'2" with a 6'9" wingspan, I think you got to wave bye to Williams. That may be why they set him down.
Could be. I mean, this guy's definitely he's tenacious on defense, and I mean, if everybody's panicking that we need a point of attack, guard, this might be our best. Scott might be our best option for right now, y'all.
Yeah, and he looked like his shot looked better than Dennis Smith Jr.'s right now. This dude, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. This dude, when I saw that last game, I told you, I'm like, he can do enough offensively where he may not look this awesome in the regular league, but he
Well, for a third or a fourth guard, yeah, I think we lost Cherokee, but yeah, I mean for a third or fourth guard, somebody that can come in and play the third guard on if somebody gets injured, and run an offense and keep it going. I think he can do that. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be,
that's what I'm saying, Richard. If that's what they tried to make Brandon Williams last year. That's why they brought him on board. We were all like, Brandon Williams. I like a couple games.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing bad about him. I can't. Yeah, come on up here, Joe. And I gotta be fair to Omax. He has looked a lot better initiating. He's looked better handling the ball.
So, Richard, I was thinking about that initiating the offense, and everybody's kind of like, has these expectations. One of the main differences that we're seeing in the summer league is that Omax is initiating the offense from the strong side of the offense, and he's not going to be asked to do that. He's going to be in that weak side corner, or he's going to be above the break on the weak side in a
Right.
5-out, and that he's going to have to initiate offense from the weak side. So conceivably, he's going to have a numbers difference to initiate that offense. So, or not conceivably, conceptually, he'll have a numbers difference to initiate offense, which makes it better. And if you watch Najee Marshall, most of his on-ball, you remember that we talked about this, a lot of his on-ball initiation or his offensive initiation came as from the weak side.
Side, yeah.
Yeah. So that makes a huge difference just because you're not dribbling into traffic.
Yeah.
I talked to Nancy for like 2 hours last night.
Hey, on Discord.
Yeah, yeah. I talked to her, bits and pieces. I was on the train coming back to Oklahoma, and we kept getting, you go in and out of the Texas Hill Country, kind of extends up into Oklahoma through
Gotcha.
there. Yeah, so you go in and out of.
Nice train ride.
It's a beautiful train ride. Once
Yeah.
and then so but it causes reception problems. And I got back, man. We talked. I called her probably on Discord, probably around 10, and shit. It was after midnight when we got off.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I love. Even though I've had a busy run of a few days, but dude, I actually love the spot. I mean, you ain't got to type. You can talk.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, she's sharp. She's a sharp woman. I got some information about her background that gives her a lot of credibility of some of the opinions that she offers. So she's not, I'm not going to share that with everybody, but she's got some skins on the wall. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
So, pause. Yeah. Hey, I did tell her, I was like, you should hit Richard up on Discord whenever you can get him, because he knows. I know about the collective bargaining agreement because I've read that 600-page bitch. But I said, if you need to know about drafts, or I said, Richard and I've talked about it, and Richard's a real big believer, as am I, about turning over the bottom of your roster. And so he knows a lot about rosters, including, like I said, the bottom of the roster. So you should hit him up if you have questions about stuff like that. So she may start tagging you on Discord. You got to pay attention.
Yeah, no, I know. I deserve the fuss of that, but like I said, I had a run of about 10 days there that I really was just busy as hell.
Man, I got to tell you, I got some company that I'm scaling. We're like on a 2-year push. Actually, it's probably going to be a 3-year push so they can sell it. So I'm starting the process of putting all the
finishing touches on it.
Yeah, so I got to get them ready for audited financials, and I got to get them ready for a succession plan for the CEO. And he's it's one of those things where how CEOs are. They're indispensable in their own mind. So I've been kind of swamped too. I turned 55 this week though, Richard.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah. Old man, double nickels.
There you go.
So
hey, I'm right there with you, man.
Yep. I have no idea what's going on in this game. What do you think about Anjinsa, wherever you say his name?
Honestly, Joe, I think he's the only one out there that
Omax?
deserves to be on the real team.
That was Omax who hit that jumper.
That was kind of smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, as of right now, just going off what I've seen, not potential, just off of what they played. Melvin's been the best. He's going to be the best fit on the team.
Yeah.
Oh.
He'll be more likely to get playing time than any of the others. Now, that don't make him my favorite player. Everybody knows who my favorite player is, but he might not make it. Melvin's in there.
You just keep talking negatively about Omax, man.
Did he hit a 3? Was that his first? There you go.
He hit a bucket before then too.
Well,
I think it was his first 3 though.
Yeah, he's 1 for 4 on 3. Yeah, I mean his other stats and stuff have not been bad, and when he's handling the ball and stuff, he's not bad. The young man just can't hardly buy a shot, though.
Cash money.
Yeah, he's asking to create for himself too. So that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What happened to what's his name? Brandon Williams?
Shoulder.
Oh, he's hurt?
Yeah. Honestly, man, I mean, so the whole concept of a summer league is kind of irritating to me because they don't have real point guards out there, and the point guards they do have are trying to get their own shot. And they're like, oh, well, Brandon Williams had 5 assists. Yeah,
Who's
but
this
he
big
also
guy?
led the team in shots. So,
which means you're not going to get to see a center being, showcased the way they need to be. You're probably not going to see forwards be showcased the way they should be.
That's right. See, that Omax got that assist right there.
That's crazy. $1 billion lineup.
I know, right? Well,
I think the Celtics are going to sell for probably close to $8 billion.
And they'll let the new owners worry about the payroll.
Yeah, so the guy's saying, "Oh, I'm still going to be this guy." And so, a franchise is like a NBA franchise is just a bundle of sticks, and you can take this stick and sell this stick and not sell that stick, right? So I get how you're going to do that, but I've never seen. I mean that's what I do for a living, and we were just talking about that. Like I rarely see some type of CEO succession plan that, in their case, that he's saying is going to last till 2028. I've never seen one take that long.
Lord have mercy. I can't see an owner letting somebody else have input that long.
No, because they don't. They don't. They want to get their people in, get it trained. They want to bolt it onto an existing platform, or they want to use it as the platform on which to bolt stuff. And that means they got to put their people in charge. The difference is he's a private equity guy, so he's probably got, he's got a lot more.
Yo, when's what's it called? Preseason.
October?
Yeah.
Damn, really? That close?
Yeah, end of November, 1st October.
Yeah, I think it's we start playing before Halloween. At the end of September is when training starts.
Beginning of October?
End of September is when training camp starts.
Oh, end of September.
Yeah. I think it's like the 23rd or something like that. Put it this way, when Slovenia bowed out, they said Luka had 100 days of no basketball or no competitive basketball.
That could be good or bad.
Let's hope it's good. He's got a lot to. He's got a lot to change, and we're only going to go as far as he takes us.
The problem, though, Whoopo, and it ain't just you and it ain't just me, but Mavericks fans have got to decide: are we competing for a championship, or are we a playoff team with a bunch of good old guys that everybody likes? If we're going to do that, then that's fine. Let's do that. Let's keep Maxey. Let's get Boban back, and let's trade for Dodo. But if we're going to try to get a championship, right now I'm not seeing where Omax is helping us. And if he can get somebody, if throwing him in will get somebody that can help us, yeah, y'all, I'm doing it. And I like the kid.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna, man. Just the problem with Omax is that how much opportunity is he going to get to show? He might be I'm kind of concerned, Richard, that he might be one of those the problem is I was going to say he's going to be a late bloomer, but the problem is he's already a late bloomer. So at some point, you can't stack two late blooming sessions on top of each other, because then the next thing you know, you're priced out of the market for your skill set.
Well, Joe King, y'all can fault him if it comes back on me, but he changed my opinion on Omax when he brought it to my attention that Omax couldn't jump off 1 foot, off one leg. Y'all, that changed my whole perspective of Omax. I mean, he's 22, finna be 23 years old. He's already got other issues, and his body's not physical enough to be able to jump off one. I mean, I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
The issue with that is, like, Jaden Harvey is another one that it's not really jumping off one leg very well, and that's why whenever they try to finish at the rim, they don't have any elevation.
And they don't have no power left at the rim because they ain't got nothing to get up to it with.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that Omax was a two-legged jumper.
I didn't either till Kings. I mean, I didn't, and it completely changed my outlook on him.
That means he's got to get a lot stronger through his lower body.
That means he will have to play power forward. He'll never be able to play small forward because no matter how good his all-ball defense is, he won't ever be able to be physical enough to play an elite small forward.
He looks, I mean, they say he's 230. He doesn't look like he's 230 out there unless he's just super dense, which he obviously is. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying the guy's a scrub. I'm not saying he's doesn't have potential. I'm not, but it's still a little ways away, y'all. And do we have time to wait for him to get there? That's my only point I'm making.
Lawson's contract is guaranteed in January, Richard.
The only thing that I can see with Lawson, Joe, is he is a fairly decent two guard, and with him being 6'5", I don't know. I think his size and just being good at a lot of things is going to keep him around a little while.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't think they would have a second thought about cutting him if they needed the roster spot either.
Look at this. They're running double zoom. Y'all got to go get the ball. Y'all are running back, play defense, running past the ball.
And what was that? Melvin's third shot? No, he shot it for you. Okay.
That's a good stat line for Lawson.
Yeah, this has been one of his better. He's had a good game. Melvin didn't show up today.
I don't like this 4 games. They need like 8 games.
I would say the decision on Sharp has been made. He's played 2.5 minutes the last 3 games.
Yeah. He got that first game against whoever we're playing, Utah. His what caught at the end of the game was defense is just atrocious.
Well, and I mean, if I'm gonna spot it out, I've got to hold myself accountable to it too. I mean, y'all, Fudge has showed me that he's better than he was last time I saw him play. He's gotten better. He's made improvement. That's more than a lot of the ones I could say. Uh, he showed that he wants to be there, and he's got some tools to work with, even though he's got a long ways to go. But
I,
back to that same thing, can we afford to keep Fudge another 2 years that it'll probably take for him to be a role player,
yeah,
not
I
a
mean,
starter or a role player?
see,
I,
my thing is this, Richard, is unless they show some kind of like unique ability, right? Then I don't really care. I think Lawson seems like a pretty good kid, but he's getting to the point where, and the same with Fudge, you know. So they, I'm this. We're not a developmental squad.
I mean, that's what I'm getting at. And I mean, if that's what we're going to be, hey, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's trade Kyrie. And let's be that. I can get on board with that. But if we're going to compete for championships, we got to compete for championships, and we got to hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too is that, like Lawson's making $3 million a year, right? And all that money adds up. I'd rather go get cheap guys that can play 2 minutes at the end of a game than developmental guys that aren't really going to ever crack a rotation.
Well, hell, Joe, $3 million for him and $4 million for Dwight. I mean, that's an $8 million damn role player.
That's that Reed kid that's up in Detroit.
I mean, people got to look. You got to look at it that way. I know that's mean, but you got to.
Yeah, yeah. When we signed Maxey and Dwight to those 3-year contracts, I said, I was like, and they were like, oh, that's not that much. I was like, man, we're gonna rue the day
I remember when it come out, the look on Rail's face. And I try not to pick on Rail much, but I swear it looked like somebody had kicked his dog. Y'all thought I was upset over it. He was worse than me.
Well, not only can he not play, I mean, he hurt. Kyrie missed 20 games because of him and his nonsense.
I mean, who's this? Does anybody know how Kyrie broke his hand?
No, but
Anybody said it ain't a leftover from an injury from last year?
no, but that's
Three
one of
months
those.
earlier.
You know how that goes. Here's the thing about these NBA players, is so like Kyrie's a perfect example. He has these freak injuries, right? But that he doesn't have any meat on his bones to offer any cushion. So somebody could have merely swiped down at him and hit him in the hand because he's all skin and bones. Then he's there's nothing to protect those bones, no padding on them. That's one of the first things they do with NFL running backs, right? They're like, make them, or not even NFL, but college. I mean, they start trying to put on weight on top of their shoulders so they don't break collarbones.
Well, a lot of these kids just grow so fast. I mean, 1 minute they're 6 foot tall, the next minute they're 6'6", the next minute they're 6'10".
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get
Okay.
they get
Fudge.
$160 a day per diem. They should be able to eat good, you know. So they can eat pretty damn good for them. They just don't eat. They eat like McDonald's and Skittles and crap like that.
There you go, Melvin. Man, he's had a rough night tonight shooting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, unlike all the other nights, he ain't done a whole lot. Melvin's had a bad night tonight.
Well, that's rookies for you.
Yeah. I mean, he's had 3 okay to decent nights, but tonight has definitely not been his night.
Man, you know what I hate about Summer League? I hate how it's Foul.
Well, they give them 10. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I would change that. It just makes it unwatchable.
I mean, Joe, I'm not big on the 6 fouls in regular league, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with it being 4, but the 5th one, you got to go.
I mean, they shoot free throws like freaking. I've seen better shooting free throw teams in high school.
Well, y'all just while we're sitting here, everybody's chatting and stuff. I just can't get over how our team definitely made improvements, but yet the best list I can have found out there has got us at number 5 in the power rankings. I hope they keep that, man. I think our guys is gonna take that shit personal.
They expect us to win the same number of games we won last year. Is that Omax
Yeah.
again? That was Omax again.
Was it? I wasn't watching, Joe.
Yeah. I looked. I did the over unders today. So I just put them on a thing on a spreadsheet so I can remember what they looked like. You know, whenever time comes later. So like last year they had the Mavericks winning, I think 43 and a half games and we won 50. Last year, Richard, 14 teams were over what they said, 14 teams were under, and 2 teams were right on it. And that was Philly, who, you know, Embiid missed 40 games, and the Lakers. They got the Lakers right. But they got 20 teams above 40 wins, projected over 40 wins.
Yeah, that just don't add up.
They've got the Mavericks 7th on that list, tied with the Bucks, who I'm not sure. I'm having a hard time talking myself into the fact that the Bucks didn't take a step back.
Well, they did and they didn't. They still got some age that they got to get rid of, Joe. And I'm not even gonna touch the Mighty Mouse thing, but they did all right with this. They got Tyler Smith in the draft this year, and from everything I'm seeing through summer league, he looks like he's what I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I think Gary Trent Jr. is a nice pickup. I mean, that's a good pickup from Malik Beasley, or that's an upgrade. Malik Beasley tried on defense. He just can't. He can't. You know, he can't defend anything. And then, but I don't think Trent might be a better defender, but he's not a better shooter than Malik Beasley.
I don't know that he's a better defender, Joe. I mean, I couldn't argue the point one way or another. I'm just saying I don't know that he is.
Well, point is they've got the Mavericks projected to be the 7th best team in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just listen. Am I taking crazy pills, or how the hell is Denver still considered one of the favorites? I mean, the jock riding on Joker is something.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Well, the Bucks has got a Middleton decision they've got to deal with. He makes too much money and they can't get nothing for him and they can't get rid of him, so they got to figure that out.
He makes $33 million a year, and he just had 2 scopes, one on each knee.
And I mean, even if they go well, you're talking about giving him another 2 years after another year of rehab before he's all the way back right.
I mean, I think he's been washed for 2 years now. So
yeah, until they figure that situation out, the same way with Denver. Denver's got a Michael Porter Jr. I mean, teams are going to have to pay attention to these contracts that they're giving out because there's repercussions to them. I mean, Denver might can stay an elite team, but you can't have all 5 of your starters making max pay. It ain't set up to run like that no more, y'all.
Yeah, there's a hold on, that's not what I wanted. If you go to, oh, that's not what I want to see. I want Spotrac, but I don't want that. Let's do 24, 25. Total cap. Active top 3. Dallas is considering the top 3 players on their salary cap for 24, 25. Dallas is 13th. It looks like $96,000, $95,000 under $100,000. So they're 99.9. You got like Phoenix 150, Philly's at 136, Minnesota's at 135, Milwaukee's at 129, Denver's at 123, Boston's at 114. That's going sky high next year.
Yeah.
Miami's at 112 because they got Jimmy Bam and Tyler Hero who's stealing money.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night too, man, Joe. Miami and people have been giving Pat Riley hell on all the podcasts and stuff. Riley has quietly rebuilt that team right in front of everybody's damn eyes, and they didn't even know that he did it.
Man, I think Miami is no better than the 8th best team, and the only reason they're the 8th best is because everybody else is terrible in the East.
Well, the issue with that is, Joe, you probably are right on that, but they're at the end of their rebuild. They've got the talent there. They've just got to finish moving on. It's time for Kevin Love and Jimmy Butler to go, and for them to live. And they might struggle for a year, but they've got the pieces are there. They've just got to let them play.
Yeah, I think the Jovic kid is going to be nice. Diakez already is nice,
right? And if you ain't watched some of the summer league the other day, the kid Ware, I mean, he looks like a Lively. I mean, he might not be great at anything, but he's good at everything.
He's an NBA player. He's a rotation player for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got they'll be fine. They've got some expensive players. They got Duncan Robinson, who's overpaid, Tyler Hero, that's overpaid.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier, who's overpaid, Jimmy Butler, who's wildly overpaid. Everybody's all about Bam, but
I see Miami riding out this year and making it whatever they do, last playoff run or last hurrah. And, if they barely make the play in, make a playoff run again or whatever it is they do, I still say they blow it up at the end of the year.
The problem is
Jimmy's on a new team.
Nobody wants Hero or Robinson, and that's damn near $50 million a year. Jimmy Butler, if they're lucky, they could do a sign and trade where somebody's going to give him like 3 years or 2 and 1, but like no more than 30 per. I mean, he's a great player at 30. At 50, 40 and 50, I wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, granted, Hero don't play defense. I'm not trying to act like he does, but there are teams that would take a decent shooting 2 guard. I mean, he's damn sure better than Tim Hardaway.
He was, but here's the problem. He didn't, when they were trying to orchestrate the Lillard trade, they couldn't get anybody to give him anything for Hero.
You got a point there.
I mean, they couldn't get a first round pick for him, much less two. Because if they could have done that, they could have shipped Lillard to Miami, and they could have shipped Hero to a third team. I mean, they could have made a nice. That could have been Lillard could have been there. Although I think, yeah,
I actually think Hero would do good in Orlando. Now that might be the only team that I would say that far, but they need consistent. They need somebody that can get a bucket.
Who's going to play? Is Suggs going to play point for them?
I don't know what they got on their mind. I'm scared they're gonna bring Markelle Fultz back to do it, just like they did last year.
Dude,
and their point guard was their flaw last year. If they'd have had a point guard, they would have been dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, you and I watched a lot, or we talked a lot about Orlando. Orlando, I watched them the third most of any team. I watched obviously the Mavericks the most. And then I watched the Pelicans the next most, and then I watched Orlando probably like 15.
That's about where I'm at, Joe.
And I watched New Orleans and Orlando going, man, these teams would be scary to play in a 7-game series if they had a point guard. So I think New Orleans, I don't know that they're going to, I mean, are we going to bet on Zion to play 70 games? Or
Griffin is.
Yeah.
And play some small ball center. I don't know who the hell Griff's been watching the last 5 years to think that he's going to be able to do that. I mean, stay healthy.
He won't get muscled, but he will get injured.
Yeah, he won't finish the year.
Yeah.
And it'll come down to how bad of an injury does he get. You know, if it's a sprained ankle, it's one thing. If it's, a twisted knee, and he's out for another year, Griff's probably job hunting.
Yeah, because he didn't trade away anything for DeJounte, though. He got rid of, like, Nance is 32, and who was the other one he traded with him?
Dyson Daniels is the promising one. But just a food for thought on him. He had 2 people ahead of him. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy were ahead of him. He wasn't never gonna get to play no matter how good he was.
Yeah, and then I think Daniels is going to get a lot of open shots with Trey Young. So
the problem with Daniels is he's like Ben Simmons, Joe. He does everything well except for shoot.
Yeah.
Now, he's better than Ben. He's better than little Benny, but not by much.
Yeah. Man, actually, I think he's way better than Ben Simmons shooting the ball.
I said he's better now. I did say he's better.
And he's not better than Ben Simmons at anything else.
I don't know now. The kid can play some defense, Joe. He can.
I know they lost him. I thought Nance was a good defender too. They lost Najee Marshall. I mean, they lost a ton of wing depth, man.
Well, no, where Nance is gonna kill him he was literally their small ball center. That's why they're having to get damn Zion to play it.
Yeah, no, I get that, but that's what I'm saying is they're in a lot of trouble. And
it looks like they're gonna start just like us last year. They're gonna start a rookie center that one of the few that honestly I don't know a damn thing about. I never even heard of the kid.
Wasn't he like? I mean, he was picked at the end of the first round in a crappy draft. So,
and I think he played maybe Oregon or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember his name right now. I don't think he's a Derek Lively, if that's what you're implying. So
Oh no, I don't either. But that's what they're counting on him being, and I don't think he is.
yeah,
So I'm as bad as I hate to say it because I am a Pelicans fan. I think they have a serious fall off this year. I don't think they made the playoffs.
man, aren't they projected to win 47 games? 47 and a half is their over under.
And they're projected to be a playoff team. I just don't see it.
Well, there's 12 teams. Listen, there's 12 teams that I think are going to compete for 8 spots in the West, and that's
I'm not looking at a list, Joe, but that sounds about fair.
I think I don't I think the Clippers have got a chance to be absolute garbage this year.
Yeah.
Things are either going to go really, really right for the Clippers, or it's going to go to hell in a handbasket. And if it goes to hell in a handbasket, ooh, man. Yeah. They'll be
Well,
back.
considering Kawhi's already hurt or missing games or whatever he's doing, that ain't a good sign.
Yeah, that's 5 years in a row he's
There
been
we
injured.
go. Omax is actually fooling around and put a damn decent game together tonight, y'all.
He must have heard King, you know? King
But
and Rel.
he ain't made but 2 threes, but he ain't had a bad game.
Let's see. Yeah.
He didn't end up on the floor but one time earlier tonight, where he's been ending up on his backside 3 or 4 times a game. So that's an improvement.
The only teams that are projected to finish under 500 this year are the Clippers, the Spurs, the Jazz, and Portland. And quite frankly, I think the Spurs are going to win more than 35 games.
I don't think they want to yet, Joe. I think they can. I think they most definitely can. I honest to goodness, I think Pop's going to take one more season.
They got Wemby. Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul can still run an offense. And unlike those knuckleheads that he had last year on his team, Chris Paul will throw him the ball.
That's the one thing that's got me worried that Pop might not tank is because Chris Paul being there. But he really needs one more piece. And this draft is loaded with forwards. So
He could. Here's the thing about it, though. They could be competitive, right? And still try and win games. And then, towards the end, they could still be competitive and still end up with the top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And let's face facts. This year's draft is so deep that you had 10 players in this year's draft that would have been the number 1 pick. The 10 players in next year's draft would have been the number 1 pick.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Which is good for the Mavericks because we've got a 2025 first and we got a 2025 second.
Well, I got one for you, Joe. Just think about it for a minute. I ain't saying who the player is or any of that, but if it was the right player that we needed, would you trade next year's first? Of course, Maxey and Dwight go out, but you trade next year's first for the right player. If you could get a couple of seconds back, would you do it?
So let me make sure I understand you right. Would I trade a player on the existing roster now for 2 seconds in 2025?
No. Would you trade Dwight Maxey and our 25 first round pick that we have for a player and 2 second round picks back? You can pick the player. I mean, the player's not really, the right player is what
I,
would you do it?
it assuming that our roster is healthy, right? That means we would have. So that's going to have to be a trade deadline trade. So we would have them for a season and a half. So we're really just saving $15 million on that because we're pod committed to Pal and Maxey this year by the trade deadline. We've already paid half that salary and ate that.
And next year too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's just $15 million that you're getting off. We traded 3 second-round picks to get off of Tim Hardaway, which enabled us to sign Najee Marshall and create a trade exception so we could go out there and get Clay. So if Nico could cook up a deal like that, right, then I just don't think that I think we're going to pick anywhere between 25th and 30th. Hopefully we're picking 30th. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
and even though, like you said, the top end of this draft is loaded up, the bottom end, it's still better than last year's, but it ain't as good as the top end.
Well, yeah, but the difference is when you have 10 guys that, when you got such a deep draft, it pushes really good players down.
Right. Fair enough.
And here's my concern is that I think that Nico does a really good job of identifying talent, right? And fit. And yeah, I mean, I would love to get off Pal and Maxey. So and just kind of wash our hands of that whole previous front office
like
regime.
Wupo said, even if you just save you a little room and you found a $13 million player and leave a roster spot open, and I mean, did you look at it? If or do we have the salary flexibility to take on another first round pick at $10 million a year? Or do we trade out some salary, use that to trade out some salary and get a player that's ready to play right now?
Give me a second. I'll give me a second. Let me see. Look at that. Type like an old school secretary there, Richard.
There you go.
All right. 2025, 2026. Dallas Mavericks. Let's see what we have in the salary cap allocations. We have 11 players, and that's going to be what I tell you that was. Oh, I've got this on the spreadsheet. Give me a second. Let me see what this is going to be. Come on, Excel.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it, y'all. We got Melvin here. No matter which one of the three you think's further along is beside the point. Ain't none of these cats gonna start for a team. They're all backups. Even Melvin, even Omax, they're backups.
All right, so here, Richard. So we're gonna be. Let's just assume that we're gonna be capped at the first apron next year, right? Salary cap doesn't matter to us. First apron is really the hard cap for most teams, right? The hard cap or the first apron hard cap for the Mavericks, presuming that's where we are next year, is 196.5. So that means that the Mavericks are going to have, let's see. Oh man, we got to figure $46,000 on Kyrie next year. 46 plus because he's got incentives. Kyrie makes 44 next year, and then he's got likely incentives of $1 million and unlikely at $1 million, but you got to count both of them towards a cap. So 46 and 46 is 92 plus 16.67 plus 14.4 plus 14.1 plus 11 plus 9 plus 5.2 plus Jesus Christ, fucking Dwight Powell, fucking face.
It makes you sick when you actually start adding the damn numbers up, don't it?
Yeah, so assuming that AJ Lawson's not on the roster next year, the cap is we've got 169 million bucks committed next year to 10 players. So that means we've got 19 plus minus plus 196 equals. So that means we got 27 million dollars to play with to sign 4 players because we got to have it's 14 player minimum for the CBA. So you could go. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that. So because that gives us $41 million to play with to sign how many players would that be? Would I say 10? 8 players, so we'd have 6 players. 41 to sign 6 players. I don't know, man. That starts getting. See, the problem is Kyrie's expensive next year.
I'm not gonna pick that fight right now. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna pick that fight.
Hey, Joe.
What's up?
Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but since we've got that $16.3 million trade exception, if we absorb somebody, that doesn't count additionally toward the cap, right?
No, it does. It does.
I thought that was the whole reason we did the move, the 5 to trade, so that because it wouldn't put us over the second apron if we absorb somebody.
Yeah,
because I think that's the cap hold though, doesn't it?
We signed Najee Marshall using our mid-level MLE. Our
Correct.
Yeah, so that hard caps us at first apron.
But I'm saying, doesn't the trade exception still have a cap hold though? Because I thought that was the whole point of getting a trade exception is that you can absorb somebody into that cap hold without affecting your cap space.
No, it definitely can't. It 100%. I know it counts. So,
yeah, Joe, I do gotta side with BJ here. I don't know the rule and the letter of the law on it, and I don't. But I swear it might have been locked on where I heard it. So don't hold it against me. But I heard that too. That's why they did it, was so we could do that. But we already had other exceptions that we didn't use, which is why it didn't make sense to me. Okay.
Yeah, one expired. The Beltran expired. The Beltran exception expired. We got one left besides the Tim Hardaway.
Okay, so here's how the rule with exceptions. So we've got 4 exceptions, right? We had the 2024 exceptions. We had the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which we used. It was 12.8, and we used 85 of that on Najee Marshall. We've got the biannual exception, which that
was Grimes, wasn't it? Didn't we absorb Grimes into that?
No, he didn't. He's not our biannual. He's a trade. He's a straight out trade.
Clay was the biannual.
Yeah, we've got a $4 million trade exception for Seth Curry, and we've got the $16.2 million trade exception for Tim Hardaway. But we can only they're essentially grants offering a team an additional way to sign players. Exceptions can be split up for multiple player signings. However, only one of these exceptions may be used in a season, and they cannot be combined. So we used our non-taxpayer mid-level exception to sign Najee Marshall. So that one's been used. Now our trade exceptions for Seth Curry is going to expire without being used, right? But our Tim Hardaway trade exceptions expire on July 6th. So that goes in. So that's for next year. So that exception is $16 million, which is really good, right? Because then we can that's more than the mid-level exception, which will be
So
a
here's my thought,
taxation.
and this is how I understand it. If a team is, so if we trade to someone who's below the cap, which we did with Detroit, that was the point. We traded Tim into their cap space in exchange for the exception, but the exception is a hold against that cap space.
No, you can't exceed the hard cap. It won't. We're hard capped at the first apron, so there's nothing we can do about that. We have basically $4.2 million to spend this year. That's it.
Because of a trade we made is why we're hard capped, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We use, so you can, if you use your full mid-level exception, right, which we did, that hard caps you at the first apron. So if you look at the salary cap situation going into the 24-25 season, this upcoming season, right? Stay with me here. So you've got 4 teams that are in the second apron. That's Boston, Minnesota, the Bucks by $2 million, and then Phoenix is way over. You got 2 teams under the cap, which is Utah and Detroit. You got 2 teams that could exceed the first cap to re-sign their own players, which was the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat, right? So that leaves the other, what is that? 2, 4, 6. That leaves 24 teams that are hard capped at the 178.132 million.
No, I
Which
understand
would
the hard cap, but the question though is, we went through this whole process of doing a 5-team or 6-team trade. I thought to get the exception, but if we can't use the exception, then it made no sense.
Yeah, I actually misspoke. We have Denver's in that above the hard cap too. But that's just because they're re-signing their own players. Existing cap hits and their own players. Say that again, Big J.
No, I'm saying I thought the entire reason that we did the whole 16 trade was because it opened up us to get the trade exception. But what would be the sense of doing that if we can't use it if we're hard cap?
Because we can use it next year. We
Huh?
can use it. We can use it next year.
But doesn't expire before
But those trades,
there's
it could
open
be
trade.
like the Caruso trade where Caruso and Giddey got traded before free agency began. So there's that kind of that the season ends, right? So once the last game of the finals after the Mavericks hoist the trophies next year, right? That season is in the
Of course.
books. Okay. And then you can negotiate with your own players, right? And you can sign your own, you can trade your own players. And there's no trade moratorium, just like Caruso was like the first domino to fall. So we've got we will have available cap space, right? And somebody can trade into our cap space next year because we won't have that. I don't know how much we'll have. I think, did we just say 169? But that's assuming that Maxey and Dwight are still on the roster. So we'll still have that. So somebody could trade us a player, just like we traded Davis Bertans for nothing, right? When we said, okay, we'll take Davis Bertans, we'll trade it. You give us, we'll move down 2 picks and you take Davis Bertans. And then we got the trade exception for whatever that was, $16 million. So then we used that trade exception to acquire Rashawn Holmes, which gave us the first round pick to draft Omax, which we used Rashawn Holmes then to trade for Gafford. So the issue is that, I mean, I understand how it works, but the best way for it to work is for it to be a chess type of move by Nico. So to use our trade exception to acquire things, but it can't be like a for apples kind of trade. It's going to take maneuvering. Does that make sense?
Well, no, yeah, I know we can't, you can't combine it with anything and all that. I know you could just have someone trade into space. So you're saying that basically we can't use it until after the season ends, and we have about a 2-week window.
Yeah, I think. Hey, Queen's trying to end this. Let's just go to Discord, Big J.
Yeah, I'll see y'all there, Joe.
All right, go to Big.
Good night, everybody. Finally got a win. Go Mavs.
Bye, Queen.